Kyabra Learning Centre. Experiments. The Lytton-Hitchins family and others provide details, intentions, ideas, findings, and how-to information on various soul and love-based experiments and the interesting findings they have experienced in and about the environment. This is the Environment Loving Ecosystem series. The topic is Fertility Systems Experiments, and the speaker is Peter Lytton-Hitchins. This is Session 1, Part 1. It was recorded on the 25th of August 2013 in Kentucky, New South Wales, Australia.
Hi, it's Pete Lytton-Hitchins here again. I just wanted to share with you guys some of our experiments that we're doing. And this one's about living systems. We're in the process of creating living systems all through this particular area where we are. And a living system is really just about creating a home for little creatures, little bugs and insects and fungi, little worms, little microbes, and then even bigger guys like the snakes and the lizards and all those guys too. So we're wanting to create a habitat, we're wanting to create some food, and we're wanting to create some shelter. And also, then we're wanting to create some fertility. And the fertility is for all the trees and the shrubs and the bushes that we want to bring back into the environment. So really all it's about is getting whatever you can get hold of that is a natural resource that will break down, is biodegradable, and is something that's going to actually help these guys. So we want to bring earthworms back into the environment. So things that earthworms like beautiful dried old hay that when it gets wet starts to break down. These are things that are going to be really good. We get lots of cardboard. If you think about it, cardboard's just broken down trees that has been processed, and so cardboard is a fantastic resource. But what I find about cardboard, it doesn't work very effectively by itself. You're wanting to bring other things into it as well. So when cardboard works effectively is when there's moisture up against it, when you've got things like dried old loosened hay or mulch or grass clippings. We bring even old timber and logs into it as well. You know, all those old tins that you get in your garbage, they can all go in here too if you think it's just iron. And most of this environment's quite depleted of iron. So we're just wanting to bring all those sort of things back in here. We're wanting homes for the lizards to be able to have. And what you find, especially after it rains, what happens is these places start to grow lots of little insects and creatures. And then we start to have food for the birds. So we're wanting to create a place like, there's no point bringing all the birds back into the environment if they can't be fed. So these sort of systems are just fantastic at creating a massive food force for so many different varieties of insects, creatures, bugs, and it just fastens up the process that would take quite a while if we just leave it just to nature. So considering that we're the ones who are solely responsible for the destruction, it sort of makes sense that if we can get in there and help speed up the process, then we're doing our part and we're starting to improve what we actually were the ones that destructed in the first place. So I see these as a really great mechanism, and don't get caught up on a particular way to do these things. There's so many ways to do them, and we're going to share lots of different ways. The most effective way I've seen, you can see this one's above ground, and it's above ground because this is a swale that we're setting up to plant trees on. But the most effective ones are when we do a pit, and then you've got all this underground. That seems to be when you get the most amount of moisture retention and the most amount of activity. And we're wanting to get all the fungi growing back in here. We're wanting to create a whole network in the underground. We're wanting to get all the ants back. You know, when ants start to come back into the environment, that's one of the first signs that things are starting to get healthy again. So we need to create a food source for these guys to think that they're living in a palace again.